There are a ton of Pokemon fan games out there, from ROM hacks that improve the base game such as Renegade Platinum, to games that completely flip the idea of Pokemon on its head like Pokemon Crown, to others that just go max crazy mode such as Insurgents. But then there are the little gems such as Pokemon Bushido. Let's start with the basics. Pokemon Bushido is a fan game made in RPG Maker, that program that is used to make a lot of fan games these days, including Reborn and Insurgents, and using the Pokemon Essentials tool. This game was made for a game jam in the span of only 37 days. Do you know how little that is? Imagine making a fully fledged working game with all the Pokemon, all the encounter tables, all of that dialogue and events in only a little bit over a month. For what they managed to achieve in this little time is absolutely insane. This game has quite a few features, including but not limited to a complete story arc, mid-battle dialogue, techniques and kunai in Pokemon battles, the Katana of Light replacing all of the HMs, Shadow Pokemon from Pokemon XD, Generation 8 Pokemon and mechanics, and the ability to speed up the game. Now that we covered the basics, let's talk about the storyline. This game, like a lot of Pokemon games nowadays, follows a linear path because of the implementation of the story. This game's plot is fantastic, 10 out of 10, one of the best plots in any Pokemon game ever. The plot is beautifully presented with the use of character dialogue and flashback cutscenes, which are really nicely done. You can really tell the devs put a lot of effort into the storyline, and it really shows. Without spoiling too much, in this game you play as the son of a highly respected royal samurai who was captured by the evil Akui clan, which are basically the evil team in this game that use shadow Pokemon. Your job in this game is to set out on a campaign to bring about the end of the Akui clan in order to save your father and bring peace to the Aisho region. The difficulty and the level curve are quite a different story. This game isn't very quote-unquote battle-focused, so to speak, like Renegade Platinum or Insurgents. The role of the battles in this game is to drive the plot forward, and that shows because the game isn't all that well balanced. On one hand, it is understandable. The devs only had a very limited time frame to balance the game, so we have to cut them some slack in this regard. Sometimes you just breeze through the routes and battle like it's nobody's business, but other times you get choked for EXP at seemingly random boss battles for almost seemingly no good reason. Let's talk about the special features that this game adds to pretty much every trainer battle in the game. The katana techniques and pre-battle bonuses, and why I'm not a fan of those. In a nutshell, it's like your opponent already used 2 or 3, sometimes even 5 special category moves before you even have a chance to attack. You cannot avoid these moves, nor do anything about them, nor master them yourself. You just have to switch and use healing items to get your momentum back. Also, during the middle of a battle, sometimes your opponent uses techniques that raise their stats, either turning them into ruthless sweeping machines or the Great Wall of China. I get that they were implemented in order to quote-unquote balance the game, or to bring variety or difficulty or whatever, but I think it's a really cheap way of adding difficulty to the game, just making you have to spam some healing items and waste turns. If I were in charge of rebalancing this game, I would limit each trainer to 1 technique or whatever per battle. Important trainers having their own signature techniques, which you get access to yourself after defeating them. In addition, I would rebalance the level curve and give the bosses better and more interesting and diverse teams to work with. I would also lower the level caps of the last few fights in order to remove the need to grind so much, but I would probably buff them up a little bit as well, in order to balance that out. The region of Aisho is a rather small region based off ancient Japan, hence the samurai and overly Japanese theme present throughout the entire game. The Aisho region, although it is very small, packs quite a lot of main campaign content, although most of that is purely because of the plot. There are 10 locations not having that much depth to them otherwise. I would say the number one selling point of this game is the graphics. Mainline Pokemon games, and even a lot of fan games, have been cursed with unsatisfying graphics since basically forever, and even nowadays, the aesthetic presentation of new Pokemon games almost always disappoints. Looking at you, BDSP, this is a non-issue in this game. The graphics of this game are immaculate. The art style chosen for this game fits it perfectly and captures the beauty of both this Pokemon game and the region, but also ancient Japan. I'd go as far as to say that this game is a piece of certified eye candy. The soundtrack is stolen from basically every single possible place you can possibly think of, but it somehow fits the game really well and adds to the experience. This is again understandable, as the devs were on a ridiculous time crunch to have a finished product on hand for the game jam. After hearing me talk about what this game does well, you might be wondering what the gameplay is like. Taking into consideration everything I have said so far, the gameplay is really good for a game that was in development for only about a month. The UI of this game is basically identical to any other such fan game, but I especially like the artistic touches given to it, which really sets it apart. Gold and Pokemon Platinum health bars are definitely something I didn't know I needed, aka the ultimate piece of eye candy. Let's talk a bit about the technical aspects of the game. This game was made using RPG Maker XP and Pokemon Essentials, as I just said in the intro of this video. This is similar to a lot of fan games such as Pokemon Insurgence, Reborn, Rejuvenation, etc. This basically translates to the fact that it is basically impossible to cheat the game or edit the save file unless you are some kind of Linux user of some description with like a billion hours of experience in coding. But on the flip side, the game runs on any Windows machine without any glitches or problems of any sort. And it seems like we have arrived at the conclusion. Do I recommend you go ahead and play Pokemon Bushido? Well, if you're a newer player that wants to get a taste of what fan games are like, without crazy amounts of bullshit happening on your screen, and with very clean and exquisitely done graphics, then my answer would be absolutely yes. This game feels like it was specifically engineered in a lab specifically for that purpose. And as such, my final rating for this game would be a very respectable 9 out of 10. The graphics, plot, and aesthetics are definitely the main selling points of the game. And this game is also very easy to get immersed in. The main thing that made me drop the score is the not so well balanced level curve and difficulty, but do not get me wrong, this game is a must play. And on that note, I will conclude this wonderful review. If you like this new style of content and want to see more, consider subscribing to my channel. It is free, it helps my channel grow, and it also helps me make better content, so just do it. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in my next video. See ya!